Yeah, I'm back again. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, at this point, who the hell knows? Um, well, let's see. Where have I been the last couple of weeks? What's it been now? Week and a half? 12 days, something like that. Anyway, let's see what's happened. Well, I got me new glasses. First time in about, what's it been, about 10 years since I last got a new pair? I mean, on the one hand, it does speak to the stability in my eyes, but on the other hand, didn't give me a lot of opportunities to upgrade and keep up with my changes. I think the frames I had previously were okay for the old me. Back before I started doing everything with my transition. I guess it all worked for that version of myself, but not so much for this one. My current self. Just so anyway, so that was a big excitement, such as they are from the last week or two. God, if my makeup is noticeably bad right now, apologies. I actually did sleep for a little while this morning, and I haven't touched it up or even looked in the mirror since I woke up. So if it looks like shit, well, my apologies. So yeah, I guess now we're into June. Um, Happy Pride for everyone who celebrates. Um, for my part, I really don't celebrate much. I mean, I will at least post the occasional Facebook update about it and just kind of remind the majorities out there of why we do it to begin with. But I don't go out of my way for a lot of celebrations. I mean, I've only been to one Pride event so far in my life, and that was unfortunately a total wash, literally, because it was a small event, and B, we got there during the tail end of a rainstorm, so nobody was out. So, kind of sucked that way, but it's just the way it goes. Uh, but yeah, for those of you that either celebrate Pride or someone you know who Pride applies to, you know, either Happy Pride, or I encourage you to look in and support these people that are affected by it. But that's pretty much all I'm going to say about it at this point. I mean, I know I do talk an awful lot about about my life as a trans person and my personal hang-ups with politics and the future that we're possibly facing next year and everything. But yeah, we'll just leave it at that for now. But yeah, closer to the home front, of course, the cat's gonna show up. Yeah, so don't really know where I'm going with my current home maintenance projects. I don't think I've talked about it before, but so I live in a connected condominium. So I own the condo, yes, but it's part of a larger complex that the homeowners association actually owns the exterior. So anyway, so on that side of me, I've got one neighbor. On this side of me, I've got another neighbor. So I'm definitely sandwiched in between. Um, Now on this side, I really don't talk to them. Um, I've had one interaction with each of the two neighbors that live over there. Um, the husband of the duo, I've actually never spoken to him. I've just greeted him with a friendly wave as we met on the driveway. I was leaving, he was coming back to get his mail, so we didn't actually speak, but it was a friendly exchange of hello. But other than that, yeah, I haven't spoken with him or interacted with him at all. Um, the neighbor on that side, she tells me that he's a really good guy, and yeah, I'm one to believe it. Um, but then there is his wife. I've interacted with her on one occasion only as well. That was, what, 4 years ago now? Um, and that was only because I made a mistake of leaving my front door open, so the screen door was open. It's one of those storm doors where the screen actually is built in and rolls down, so you can drop the glass pane down, expose the screen. So I had that door as as the only one engaged. Well, this neighbor of mine, she decides to walk up to the door and start trying to get my attention, and she starts bitching me out because I'm not out there in the front yard, which is communal property, by the way. I'm not out there picking up sticks after a rainstorm. It's like, okay, we pay a landscaping company to do that. So what the hell are you bitching at me for? We have a landscape company that comes in a few times a week, does the mowing, does the pickup, all that shit. So why the fuck are you out there at, what was it, 8 o'clock in an early June evening? She's out there at 8 o'clock in a fucking bathrobe, picking up sticks and putting them in a bathroom-sized garbage can. It's like, what the fuck, lady? Well, in talking with neighbor on this side, now she tells me that that neighbor is absolutely batshit crazy. Apparently, she's had a reputation for going on other people's decks at night, peeking through their windows, um, running around out back here naked. I've never seen that, thank God, but I've heard the stories. So, go with your God. I do whatever I can to not invite her presence over here, and so far it's worked. Unfortunately, it means that I cannot leave the front door open to let the fresh air in during the daytime, just because I am concerned about her showing up again. I mean, at night I can at least open it up and let the air in when I'm home. But yeah. And then on that side, that neighbor, she's totally cool. We interact a lot. Um, I've actually enlisted her services to watch over Trish in a couple of weeks for my trip to Camp Icon. So she'll be under my neighbor's care for those few days. But yeah, so anyway, on that side, I've got the neighbor. She had concerns fairly recently about possible mold in one of her walls, and I don't know if the work that she's having done over there on that side, if that's related to that potential mold issue, or if she decided to just go ahead and remodel some shit anyway. Sounds like her cat is an absolute terror and has been doing shit like ripping up carpeting and just destroying everything in sight. And well, yeah, she's not much past a kitten at this point, so a lot of cat energy. So I don't know which is more plausible at this point. So anyway, her concern about potential mold got me a little freaked out. So last week I ordered a pair of DIY mold kits. It's a petri dish and some solution. You're supposed to set the petri dish out near the areas of concern, let's say for an hour, seal the dish, wait for 2 to 4 days, and check the results. Well, okay, so I had one over in the corner over here, and I put one in the spare bedroom back there on the other end of the hall. And let's see, day one, nothing. Day two, nothing. Day three, nothing. Day 3.5, I started seeing some mold growth. Okay, so in here it was some dark green stuff. I had like one spot of it was all after the 3.5 days. In the other bedroom, I had what was it, about 4 or 5 white spots. So at this point, okay, I'm thinking, well, shit, I must have mold. So I get in touch with a local company that showed at the top of the Google search. Leave them a message. There's supposed to be a 24/7 outfit. So leave them a message to the website. And I have yet to hear back from them. And that was Sunday morning I left the message. It's now Thursday morning. So yeah, Ken Master is really dropping the ball there. Funny thing is, that company actually showed up Tuesday for a different issue altogether. So last Thursday night, I opened the door, and there's a note stuck to my front door saying that these people are showing up Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday within our HOA to do the every other year. Is it biannual? Is it biannual? Is it every other year? Anyway, so every 2 years they come by and they do dryer vent cleaning, fire protection. It's fire prevention and all that, so it makes sense. But the thing is, they tell you somebody must be at home to let these people in. Monday from 8 to 4, Tuesday 8 to 4, and Wednesday 8 to 4. So okay. So I work nights, so I'm not going to be able to really sleep during those days if I'm having to sit around and wait for them. I go into a deep sleep. Well, yeah, I'm not waking up at some points to the doorbell. Well, shit. So what the fuck am I supposed to do? Yeah. Fortunately, they showed up on Tuesday, but I was having to get contingency plans in place for yesterday because Wednesdays are the days I always have my electrolysis appointments, and I've missed a lot of those recently. I think I've missed probably 3 in the last 2 months. And then after that, I always go and visit Mom for a few hours at her apartment. It's just part of the weekly routine, So I had a contingency in place for that, where the neighbor does have a key to get in to let those cleaners in, but I'm not comfortable with the idea. I mean, I don't want strangers traipsing around the house when I'm not here, But they showed up Tuesday around noon, so I was at least able to get a few hours of sleep that day. Yeah. So anyway, but back to the mold thing. So I was freaking out, thinking, okay, I must have mold. The thing is, I don't smell anything or see any signs of mold in here in this room. I don't see anything in the other bedroom either. Although there's this weird thing where when it gets really warm in the summertime, and when it gets like above, say, 70 degrees or so, I begin to smell wood. I mean, just straight up, it smells like wood. It smells like the wooden trim that goes around the window in the other bedroom. It's like I smell that, and the hotter it is, the stronger the smell. So I mean, for the first few years, I just wrote off it as nothing because just okay, it's hot. You know that room, the window faces the west, so it's going to get all that afternoon summertime heat from the sun. Makes sense, right? But then I started, freaking out, thinking, okay, maybe there's some kind of mold thing going on, and these people are not getting back to me. So what do I do? Well, I start, digging around a little bit and find out that according to a lot of different sources, I stumbled across both anecdotal and professional. Those DIY petri dish mold tests are pretty much rubbish anyway. They're very very unreliable. They give a lot of false positives when there is nothing to be worried about. Um, Basically, mold spores are in the air at all times, no matter where you are. But then you give a spore the ideal breeding ground, like a petri dish. Yeah, it's gonna grow no matter what. So I'm pretty sure I was just psyching myself out at that point. Um, so yeah, I'm still pissed that they never followed up with me, to discuss the situation. But I guess I will take the financial savings off mold testing and mold remediation. So I guess it's okay. Not thrilled. Like I said, I wish that the company would have at least gotten back to me. But I think I'm okay. That's just this place is 40 years old, 40 some odd years old now. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of the wood trim, the wood trim, or even the windows frame itself might be in need of replacement at this point after 40 some odd years. I just hope that's not anything urgent because holy shit, that would be expensive. But anyway, I rambled a lot there. I apologize for that. It's just something it's been kind of the focus of my worry the last few days. And speaking worry and everything, it's kind of funny. I was just I was observing my phone's screensaver when I was charging a few days ago at work, and saw this one picture that popped up, and it was the title title page for one of the chapters of the Rain webcomic. It just said chapter 42, one day at a time, and I don't really understand what happened there with me, but just kind of made me step back and think. Like, I spent all my life in this constant state of worry about what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next week, next month, next year, 5 years from now. I'm always living in this future of despair and what ifs and doom and gloom, fatalistic, mentality. And something just kind of clicked at that point. Where like, you never learned how to take life one day at a time. So why don't you? Why don't you take life one day at a time and just enjoy the current 24 hours that you're in? Just focus on what's happening today. Tomorrow will be here when tomorrow gets here. and for whatever reason, it's actually had a fairly good calming effect on me. I mean, I won't say that I don't still think and plan ahead, but it's been it's been good for good for grounding me, good for centering me over the last few days. It's been really nice, you know. But yeah, speaking of the future, I've been waffling back and forth on this quite a bit as far as doing Camp Icon, not doing Camp Icon, how I was going to get down there, if I was going to use my own car, if I was going to rent. You know, finally, what was it? Monday night, Monday morning, Sunday night. I finally just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna go ahead and reserve a rental, put the miles on that car instead. I mean, yeah, it's gonna cost me $300 to rent it for those few days, but at the end of the day, I'd rather put the miles on a newer, more reliable car than my what is it? My 19-year-old 2006 Mercury. It's got 148,000 miles on it, so not exactly a spring chicken anymore. Sure, I mean, it's definitely got a lot of life left to it, but it's at that point where, you know, what happens as far as things wearing out, things breaking down. It's basically at the same point where my last car was, which was an '02 Chevy Malibu. It was a great car until around 150,000 miles, and then it was like every other week I had something that needed to be replaced on it. And I could very easily see the same thing happening with this Mercury, just because it is that at that age, those miles. And do I really want to risk all that happening and starting while I'm 800 miles away from home? Not so much. So, so yeah, I've got a reservation at the airport Enterprise. So I just take it from there. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about Camp Icon. Aside from needing to have my head on a swivel as I drive down there, if you look at any map, you know, that details you know the the welcoming or hostility of trans people. Yeah, the states between here and there, apart from Illinois, are basically, oh dear God, please don't give me shit. Please just let me pass through without an issue. Please don't harass me into the restrooms. Please just let me get gas. Let me piss in peace when I have to do that. It's a 12 to 13 hour drive, so it's a long way. You're not holding your bladder that long, no matter who you are. But yeah, once I get down there, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, the only irritating part about being down there is I made a reservation for 2 nights at a hotel near where they originally said the site was going to be. Well, it's not refundable, so I'm stuck with it. Meanwhile, the actual event is now 45 minutes away, south of Nashville. So it'll be a 45-minute drive. I've got to undertake. I mean, I'm not gonna just waste that reservation because I've already paid for it. It's not refundable. So yeah, I'm stuck. On the other hand, I could have reserved a room at the hotel that the event is happening for that Friday as well. But that would have cost more than the 2 nights at the original hotel. So I weighed the costs, like, okay, yeah, it's $200 and change more. Yeah, I'll just drive the 45 minutes in the morning and call it good. Um, so, with that all said in mind, let me just see how long the video's been going for. Eyes are not focusing. 25 minutes. You know what? I think that's a good stopping point for this segment. I am going to do a second one today. I got the topic in mind, so I'm just like, I'm going to do it. I will upload this one first, and I'll upload the other one afterward. But I'm recording back to back, so I'll be right back.